Well, you've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time, so clearly I stayed in the village to investigate. Anyway, you plan to leave our...
Yep. Enough with the silent treatment!
No. I'm just surprised that you decided to team up with...
Al-Haytham, you haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru village.
Yeah, you...
While you were investigating,
Really?
To be honest, we aren't really a team, so I have no obligation. Not to mention that going separate ways allowed me to find some important information that you all had missed.
Huh? Right here in...
Correct.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone.
What is that?
How do you think the residents of Aru village feel about what we're doing? In other words, do you truly believe every single word the villagers tell us?
You mean, some of them lied to us?
Hiding the truth does not necessarily equate to lying. Again, these people have their reasons. Remember what Candace said? Most people in Aru village don't necessarily care which deity is in charge of Sumeru. That's because whether King Deshret or the Dendro Archon has power is of little significance. By contrast, the perils of their daily lives are ever-present concerns. They won't simply share. Glad you're following along. Among those you have talked to, there's someone who was consciously keeping you out of the loop. In fact, she's been observing your The reason being, to someone who only wants to live their life in peace, any external factors introduce unpredictable...
Those eyes.
Don't change the subject.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by Sino's authority and...
Right.
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are King Deshret fanatics in the village. If she sounds too friendly towards the village keepers, she could easily make herself the radicals' next target.
I think it's been a few days since I last saw them.
Remember? She made a point of denying her involvement in anything that occurs at night.
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange.
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected Aru village at night. In other words, the young miss was very much awake during that time.
Then, why would she lie?
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself. As for why she might be so wary about all this,
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me.
We're on it!
We're way behind schedule. Next on the agenda.
Miss Shawnee, as we discussed earlier...
Mr. Al-Haytham, I'm aware of where you stand.
Huh? What do you mean?
Go ahead and talk to her. Go on. Earn her trust.
Is it really that simple?
May I call you hi, Traveler. Do you think the resurrection of King Deshret can truly change Sumeru for the better? Why's that? That's very similar to what Miss King before. I wouldn't even... Traveler, do you believe our lives will get...
Yeah, but even so, we have friends.
My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back.
Al-Haytham told us you have your reason.
The fact is that only one side of my family is desert folk. I don't really fit in anywhere in Sumeru. Some believe in the Dendro Archon.
Speaking of which, the radicals mentioned that they despise traitors.
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. It makes no difference. Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretended not to hear or see anything. And then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation.
You can tell them. I'm sure.
All right. I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange crying sounds in the night. Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It comes from far away in the distance, and always carries very raw emotion. It used to be louder and more frequent, but ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often, and when it does, it's much quieter. I have to focus really hard to make it out.
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. They also have someone with a good ear, but because we're in the middle of a desert, you would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than ghosts.
There's really nothing around these parts, except for an...
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar, but it's been abandoned for...
Yeah!
Sounds good to me.
Oh, is this the place? It's in terrible shape, and there's sand everywhere. Ah, monsters, watch out!
Here we go! Think you can get away? Born of ice and frost. No touching! Illusion shattered! Access denied! Let's play! Let's move out! Born of ice and frost! No touching!
Rest and reboot!
Access denied!
They were easier to kill. Super strong bandits? Or... He looks super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
This is the one. Let's go in and take a...
Hey,
Patience. Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn. Until then, I'm taking a break.
and just like that, he sits down. Wait, he even brought a book to read? What are you reading? Let Paimon see!
Okay, sure.
the natural position, which is the position.
So,
Oh, Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya. How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this. Hey, Paimon's your... And anyway, it's not Paimon's fault that the books people read in Sumeru... Paimon's getting so sleepy. Huh? What was that sound?
there it is. It's coming from that direction.
Is the sound coming from here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
It's from below.
But there's no...
Something is off about the interior here. As I thought.
Wow. It's like they tucked it... Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms. Everything's ready. Let's go.
Born of ice and frost.
Allow me.
Shine down! Illusion shot!
Fallen Amber, help! Rest and rebuild.
Access denied. Born of... There is no escape! Next on the... Huh?
Hi!
Next on the agenda... Huh? Shine down! No touching!
Wait. You're...
He can't speak. And also, why is
Didn't expect to see him.
You know
He's Razak, a senior of mine at...
he's a scholar too? Is he the...
No. Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life. Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too late. Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. Perhaps they simply didn't have time to come back for him. There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded with something heavy.
Loaded with...
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. In their haste, they failed to notice Razak hiding in a corner. The symptoms are identical. Looks like we've...
Huh?
Allow me to jog your memory. Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
Oh!
Correct. The Academia... It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the Academia spread a false rumor of King Deshret's resurrection. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and as well as being able... Life for the desert, many would give even if complications arise. The notion of an Academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds.
Oh, that makes a lot... But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the Academia that brought the scholars to Aru village in the first place? What...
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. And finally, an exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them.
Resource?
One possibility.
Extracted? You...
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night, when no one is watching.
So, the human brain...
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But, or perhaps, his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such a capsule for himself.
Hyman's a little...
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer. That's right. To some scholars, however, the Academia is going up. I've spent quite some time trying to...
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting...
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, extracting information from people as if they were...
Sounds like you're really a...
Of course. Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its bound. This matter...
Wait! Didn't you step in to help because you felt...
Not to be callous, but no. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru. And the same...
Probably not.
You can say that. The divine knowledge capsule is something...
Hyman's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the Academia, but you're not one of them. You're their weirdo.
Though I must say, I quite enjoy... Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it.
I'm just a more likable... He won't last long if we leave him here. We'll work out our next step.
You must be tired.
What's the situation?
Who's it?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's one of the people we're trying to find.
So, at one point in time, the abandoned Elazar hospital served as the academia's site for extracting divine cant knowledge.
Yep, pretty much.
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru village, since divine cant knowledge has been in circulation for a while now. Yet, they fled once we were headed to the village, almost as if they knew we were on their trail.
Yeah.
We may have a mole in our midst. One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the academia.
Huh? Are our friendships that
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue. Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words.
It is simply a logical inference.
So what you're saying? Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one.
I know. You have a point. But I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of us.
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra? As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required to have all the facts available, including the less than savory details. Simply put, the academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, wouldn't you expect them to, if you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The academia is monitoring me?
It's not that simple. The academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have a special protocol for dealing with you. Every so often comes a Nyagarbaha Day. On this day, the academia enters new information into the Akasha through knowledge capsules. I remember seeing a thick notebook next to the control panel once. Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activities throughout the day, preferred methods of enacting judgment, everything.
You're saying that the academia entered my information into the Akasha too? But what's the point in doing that?
The Akasha is capable of computation. The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow, your destination. It knew all of
It predicted my every move.
The academia has been watching you longer than you think. However, the fact that you resigned is proof that their suspicions were well-founded.
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles so strongly that he's actually a thorn in their side. Tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the academia. They need scholars who are easily pliable and mindlessly go after anything they can profit from. Sino, don't take it to heart. This just proves how much of a trustworthy ally you are.
They escaped.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might.
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
There is always an opportunity for safety.
Oh, so that's how it is! If the academia is trying to avoid Sino... Yep, that's right!
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going. I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys!
Please, wait! I want to go too.
You want to go too?
I want to find Grandpa.
Everyone, I leave him in your hands.
Yay! Let's go! Paimon feels like we're missing...
Yes. After leaving the village, we should head straight toward the desert.
I know the desert like the back of my hand.
Is that because you play here a lot?
Yep. One time, Grandpa almost got lost in the desert, but I was the one who brought him back.
There's something here. What's this?
It's buried in the sand. Look,
And Paimon thought running around everywhere was already enough work. Okay.
these are likely fragments of an Academia-developed device, something akin to a headset. Looks like there were more than one village keeper. They must have been escorted this way because there are device fragments. Let's split up and search the area. Chances are that we'll find other
Is this what we're searching for?
This is definitely a device.
How did it end up buried in the sand? They must have been attacked along the way.
Wait, what?
Grandpa, I hope you're okay.
Don't worry, your grandpa's gonna be
Razak didn't display any signs of starvation or dehydration, which means that they left fairly recently.
We should be able to catch up.
One more thing. I believe the attack must have happened prior to the sandstorm.
Let's keep going. They can't have gone.
Ugh, but running on sand is so tiring.
But you're flying, aren't you, Paimon?
Ready for a rehearsal?
Ugh, of course it is.
Voices, over there. It sounds like an argument.
Whoa, you have really good ears.
Don't get any closer. They'll notice us.
Dia's talking with the Eremites? Very interesting. Let's listen.
If you had informed me sooner, there'd be plenty of room for us
You're one of us. We would never.
scholars. You don't know as much as I do. Need me to...
I knew it.
Tia? Why would you? Tia!
Hey, what are you doing?
Huh?
Didn't you say you'd help me find Grandpa?
Well,
This
You've betrayed Aru village?
so, this is the great Dear, you'd be better off as my assistant than hanging around with this motley crew. Seen for yourself. I have the means and methods, and my ideals are far more
I'm not the type that's easily swayed, Raman. You of all people should know that.
Wait, what's going on, Dia? Whose side are you on here?
Shut it, Paimon.
It doesn't matter. Whichever side you pick, nothing can deter us from the grand mission of resurrecting King Deshret. Once our Lord of Old returns,
Face the facts, Raman. It's not gonna happen. You should understand that more than anyone. Have all your years as a merc taught you nothing about placing hopes in a ruler?
I'm a desert dweller and a proud follower of King Deshret. Whether I live by the edge of the sword or in peaceful comfort, my soul will always carry this
It's not too late yet. The village mad scholars aren't gonna bring King Deshret back to life.
You don't understand, my dear lady. Pursuing our faith is our purpose in life. Even if the chance of success is 1 in a million, we must be willing to give everything we have.
Even if it'll expose you to the Academia? Even if they end up disbanding the Eremites? Your Eremites, which you've worked so hard for all these years?
Yes. We've waited a long time for this day to come. With these scholars in our custody, we'll stomp the Academia's forces.
Ridiculous. Think about it. The Academia controls the entirety of Sumeru. Your powers are negligible in comparison. If you still don't believe me, then try asking these two men. They're also against the Academia, but neither of them are as arrogant as you are.
They look more like pawns of the Academia to me. Filthy traitors. Your god abandoned all honor and betrayed King Deshret. We desert.
It's impossible to commute. Perhaps we should.
Do you really believe that by kidnapping the scholars, you'll be able to negotiate with the Academia? These people have no value as bargaining chips. These scholars were exiled from the Academia. I, on the other hand, am their current scribe, and will be a...
Wait, you can't be serious.
So, you want to trade
Precisely. Anyway...
What are you thinking? What if they decide to kill you instead?
Well, that would be bad luck for me. However, I'd get the chance to observe the scholars. I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm using this as a means of joining forces against the Academia.
You are the scribe.
Not all desert dwellers believe in King Deshret, and the same applies to the Academia. Why must all knowledge seekers approve of the Academia's way of doing things?
You Academia scum. Every last one of you is nothing but a hypocrite.
Not so fast. I'll hate them. Do you stand by everything you just said?
I never make empty promises.
You know you're making a dangerous decision.
I do.
Good. Raman, hear me out. These people are my friends. Maybe you can't take the followers of the Dendro Archon at their word, but what about me? Do you trust...
We've known each other for...
In that case, I'm willing to vouch for their honesty with my right arm. Come on, Raman, don't be a coward. If you're serious about taking on the Academia, you need to steel yourself. You can't be afraid.
An arm? But what if you refuse to oblige? What should I do then? No one's a fool here, Dia. We're mercs. And mercs don't tend to live long unless they have their wits about them.
You're not wrong, but this is different. I promised my friends that we'd bring back the village keepers to...
Let's do it right here, then. Give me your right arm as proof of your resolve.
Don't listen to him! He's not...
That's fine.
Are you crazy?
We came here to save lives. One arm for that many people is still a pretty good deal, if you ask me. Raman, I'm holding up my end of the deal here. You'd bet...
Sure. Go ahead and cut off her right arm.
No! Dia! What are you gonna do? Think of something!
You don't have to go this far.
That's not for you to decide.
Do it!
Dia! Run!
Stop!
What's wrong?
Flame Mane, you and I are both desert folk. Cutting off your arm is no different than cutting off my own fingers. Where's the sense in cutting my own kin to pieces? You've shown me that you're serious. Go on now, take your friends and leave. Meet me in the desert at noon tomorrow.
Phew. I was really counting on him not going through with it.
Dia! That was crazy! Have you all lost your minds? What if he'd actually cut your arm?
Then I just have to hold my claymore with my left arm. Okay, I'm sorry. But sometimes when you're out on a limb, you gotta double down to seal the deal, you know?
Don't ever make a promise like that again. I can deal with the likes of them. If it came down to it, you would not lose to them either.
I don't doubt it, Sino. But this is about more than me and them. There's a lot more where they came from. Even if we got rid of one bunch of radicals, there are others out there. Wiping them out would do more harm than good.
I'm sorry, Dia. I should have stayed put and listened.
It's okay. I promised you I'd help find—
Whatever it takes? You just might be scholar material.
Huh? Are you serious?
The Eremites once said that I was a lunatic. Perhaps a little madness is essential to be successful in research.
Why does it feel like he's using his praise for me as an excuse to brag about himself? Okay, let's get moving. We should head back to the village and rest up. Today—
Even though Miss Yelan is absent from work for the majority of the year, I'm sure Lady Ningguang must have her reasons for making exceptions for her. Of course, it wouldn't be my place to ask, so I don't know the details of their arrangement. I remember seeing her one day on my way back to Yuehai Pavilion. She was having breakfast with a group of people. They were all talking and laughing, eating, drinking tea. I must admit, I found myself feeling a little envious in that moment.
He seems like a bit of an outsider socially. Probably.
Should we really be off work this early? There is still a lot left to do. Next on the agenda...
I got you, boss.
You're all here so early.
Looks like we have everyone here. Isak, are you sure you want to come with us?
I'll watch from a safe distance. Dia,
Okay.
Dia, wait.
What's the matter?
I heard that you were quite reckless yesterday. No more of that today, understood? Or I'll be
Fine. Stay close. No going off on your own. The desert doesn't take prisoners. Let's get it on! Ha! Hey!
They got here before.
Uh-oh. Is it because Paimon overslept by 5 minutes and held everyone up?
Is everything ready?
Absolutely. You brought fewer people than I.
Bring him over.
Grandpa! Why is there only one?
Rahman, I've always thought of you as a man of his word.
It's a 1-for-1. And let me put it this way. Agreeing to any kind of deal.
You stay right there!
Wait, mate! What do you think you're doing?
Grandpa!
Don't you see this blade here? You coward! Why are your hands shaking? Wait a second! It's a earthquake!
Paimon...
This day's going...
The sand dune collapsed. I saw an energy field. The village keeper protected us. It glowed green with dendro. Just like you said, it may well have been the dendro archon.
Grandpa? Grandpa?
Hey,
There used to be a temple here?
It seems that when the sand dune collapsed, it exposed the symbols on the gate belonged to King Deshret's civilization. This structure must be ancient. Over time, the sandstorms completely buried it, and it could have been an underground palace.
Oh, a miracle. Praise King!
What's he doing?
They must have fallen down here with us. Pretty lucky. Most of them seem in really bad shape. Except for him. He...
Mind your head.
No, this isn't the time for conflict.
He's not act-
As it happens, I want to take a look at...
What are you doing?
Don't you think it's curious? 1 minute, Lesser Lord Kusanali's power protects us from harm, and the next, remnants of King Deshret's two major deities are vying to showcase their power to us. It would be a shame not to witness them both.
Paimon thought you weren't interested in God.
Indeed. In my view, gods are just a higher form of living being, or creature. New discoveries are always worth investigating. Whether they have anything to do with gods is neither here nor there.
Raman, what are you gonna do?
I'll just let them lay here. King Deshret will take care of his people.
Ready for a rehearsal?
It's full of life here. This defies comprehension. It looked...
Yeah, and there's so many plants. It's so...
Sir Rama,
Huh? Are you mocking me?
interpret it however you want.
Whatever you say.
There's nothing to be angry about. Think of this as an academic journey.
It does seem kinda strange. If that's true, then we might have to explore this whole area to find an explanation.
Next on... We're way behind schedule. Next on the agenda... We're way behind schedule. Yahoo! Access denied. Born of illusion shattered.
Trust and reboot!
We're way behind schedule. Next on the agenda... We're way behind schedule. Here we go! Yahoo!
Today, I am exploring nature with Google, and when I want to know the names of the flowers or trees I like,
by royal decree.
Into the wind.
No touching!
Oz, reveal thyself.
One with nature.
Born of ice and frost. We're way behind schedule. Next on the agenda... Next on the agenda... Access denied. By royal
The wind knows me.
No touching!
Here we go! Think you can get away?
We're way behind schedule. Healthy body, healthy mind.
Let's play!
Born of ice and frost. Nope.
Shine down!
Hold the line!
One with nature.
I'm going in! Huh?
Born of ice and frost.
The wind knows me.
Next on the agenda...
Time for takeoff.
Rest and reboot!
It's a sight to see. King Deshret's splendor surrounds us.
There's so much vegetation here. It's different than what I expected.
Sure are a lot of plants for a desert.
That's what I call divine providence of King Deshret.
It's getting brighter! Oh, it looks so beautiful!
Wait. What's that?
A load of flowers. And it looks like there's something among...
These are...
They left something behind.
What does it say?
Here lies our faithful priest Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people.
You can read ancient King Deshret script?
Of course. Every student needs to master at least 20 languages before they graduate.
He's not serious, right?
There's still something off about this place. The elemental energy, the scent of life. Is it true?
Is this it?
Analyzing.
There seems to be a hidden message among these. Excellent. There's a device from King Deshret's civilization in this gravesite.
Isn't sharing knowledge against the academia?
Yes. However, under the circumstances, I'd prefer you to see this for yourself. You'll understand after watching it.
Civilization is born of knowledge, but so too can knowledge be its demise. A disaster caught us unaware. It was knowledge that did not belong to this world. King Deshret brought this forbidden knowledge into our world, and it quickly spread like a plague. People's minds were filled with crazed whispers. Dark gray scales spread across their bodies. Even the land was stripped of its vigor. Only a desperate, deathly silence remained. Were it not for greater Lord Rukkhadevata from the forests, the damage would have been irreversible. She summoned the priests to build temples and infused into them the divine power of life. The disaster was miraculously tempered, and the embers of our civilization were preserved in Aru village. Alas, the miracle could not last. As long as forbidden knowledge continued to exist, it would forever blight this world. In the end, the proud king of the desert, my eternal lord, chose to sacrifice himself. I have spent my whole life since guarding one of these many temples. But now, my duty is coming to an end. As I close my eyes for the final time, the sight of that noble deity will appear in my vision once more. In helping King Deshret to eradicate forbidden knowledge, she exhausted her strength, and her form became that of a small child. How strange. Now that I think of her, I no longer have any fear of death, for I sense that the spirit of life will abide with me during my eternal sleep. Children of the desert, cling no longer to past grievances, but hold tight to the memory of this act of benevolence.
What was that?
The priest's memories.
No.
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. So the former Dendro Archon and King Deshret were never enemies at all.
But this doesn't make any sense. The Dendro Archon's followers, they're clearly...
Was that the former Dendro...
You might be You've just witnessed his priests.
I've never heard of the surviving followers of King Deshret all gathered in Aru village. Our god did not make mistakes. We refuse to believe any of the rumors. King Deshret's death, the all but total annihilation of our civilization, it was all Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's doing. We saw her as nothing more than a traitor, who stabbed us in the back in our moment of crisis. Just like us humans, fighting.
You were blinded by your prejudice.
If I hadn't seen this for myself, if I hadn't witnessed his last words with my own eyes, ears, and how could I ever begin to accept this? The truth is so far from what I've always known. Am I really supposed to believe that after all these years, all this time seeking revenge, suddenly now my enemy is my savior?
Raman, give it a rest. You're starting to make a...
My Eremites and I, what are we even fighting for?
Hey, how you doing?
I'll live. I should probably go.
What's your next move gonna be?
Oh, I know what you're going to ask. I feel deeply ashamed of everything I've... But please, give me some time. After...
It's not gonna be easy.
Well, I guess that's for me to deal with.
When would be a good time for us to go?
Tomorrow. I'll convince everyone that we're all on the same side. And I'll return every last one of your your village keepers. We'll share our other resources with you, too.
You seem to finally understand.
Yes. The gods never gave up on anyone. It's the people responsible for all this that need to face the consequences of their act.
That must have been rough, but he seems to have figured things out now.
Ramon's no fool. Being the lead... It's too bad he was held back by his belief in King Deshret.
The outcome,
We should get going too. Let's head... Sino, we're leaving!
Stop yelling.
Raman, we're here.
Everything's been arranged. Someone will bring the village keepers back to Aru village.
I guess all I can say now is...
Don't mention it. But we should...
Where are the perpetrators?
I'll bring you to them.
So these are the people who kidnapped the village keepers.
Oh no, it's the scribe!
There's no need to yell. No one can help you now.
We've been all over the desert trying to find...
That's right.
General Mahamatra? No, no.
Whoa. The moment they set eyes on Sino, they turned pale like they've seen a ghost.
You should have known that I would be coming for you.
Wait, we were just following orders. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's no way we could have done all this by ourselves.
No, not Sino. He's gonna tear us limb from limb.
I could do worse.
Please have mercy.
Start talking. Otherwise, I'll have to resort to other methods.
So, your superiors have kept you quite busy
They, wanted to extract canned...
Don't play dumb. They extract divine canned knowledge.
I really don't know how to...
Well, you better start talking or...
You don't want to make things any more difficult for yourself, do ya?
Be my guest.
Uh-huh. That sure didn't sound like a fancy...
How did you know?
There's no use hiding it now. Yes, you're right. The Academia is working on an important and potentially world-changing project. They are creating a new god. A god that will belong to them and to the people of Sumeru. It may seem as if Sumeru's academics are thriving, but ever since the death of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, scholarly breakthroughs have been few and far between. The withering of Irminsul has been getting worse recently. The sages have tried everything they could think of, but nothing's worked. I'm always hearing them say things like, if only Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was still with us.
Continue.
And then, someone from the Fatui showed up. They called him the Doctor. He brought a gnosis and said he wanted to borrow the Academia's research facilities. The Doctor was previously expelled from the Academia. At first, the sages looked down at him in disdain. But when he said those words, everyone's expression changed. He asked them, "Do you wish to create a god?"
This is what the arrogant ignorance at the extreme end of academia looks like.
First, the Academia spent After that, they harvested with the Doctor's help, and the Akasha now functioning at maximum efficiency. They were able to use it to extract the power from the Gnosis and convert it in... Next,
it adds up.
But how do you determine whether the knowledge...
Call it an educated guess? The Academia has been... Nobody can explain the cause of this phenomenon. Sure, if it's knowledge no more...
You must have noticed by now. The Academia doesn't care about who their god is. It's the ability to exercise control over knowledge. It is as if they are cursed with a desire for some organisms. This is but...
Then what does Lesser... Is she not a true god present in this world? If you already...
From the beginning, the Academia has never treated... When the Academia first discovered Lesser Lord Kusanali, the newborn god of wisdom, the sages hoped that she would be as wise as Greater Lord. They found that at the time, she possessed no more intelligence than any ordinary human child. The sages never had a ruder awakening. This forced them to accept... Not to mention that Lesser Lord Kusanali's Gnosis had been used to power the Akasha this entire time. By herself, she has neither an Archon's raw power, nor the spectacular insight expected of a... Slowly but surely, people...
So... This is...
All right, let's try to keep our cool. Raman, give me a few men to help us escort the village.
Sure.
Next on the agenda...
Wouldn't gliding be faster?
Time to work! Work time! No excuse for slacking!
Access denied!
My work... Finish that seem to work. Getting so soon!
We're way behind schedule. Born of ice and frost.
Harden up. Prepare finally. Some quiet.
Access denied.
You can't run.
There you are, eavesdropper. Let me amuse myself a little.
Think you can get away?
Let's move.
Illusion shattered.
Allow me!
Perhaps whoever left these behind was also fulfilling a contract.
Brace yourselves.
The village keepers you found have all been returned to their homes.
Yeah? Hey! Say something! Stop spacing out!
Come on, is there nothing left to talk about?
Or I can go.
Oh! Paimon's so coming!
Do you have any plans, traveler?
Gods above, you're not talking about work, are you?
So you were still withholding some information?
Even though we lived through all of this firsthand, it still feels super surreal.
What a whirlwind of a story. I felt like I was holding my breath the whole time.
It seems like there'll be more issues to face in the days ahead than I'd anticipated.
Still, now's a good time.
It's time to make a plan.
Indeed. These events...
So,
Crush the sages and rescue our god. That is our ultimate goal.
Well,
The next time we gather here...
Yep!